You're listening to Nighttime Confessions with your host Cynthia and co-host Judy. Pour yourself a glass of wine and welcome to the show.
In today's episode, we'll be reading and discussing people's dilemma with a break request in a long-term relationship. Our writer asks, "My boyfriend broke up with me and now asked if I could do a break instead. We have been together for almost 3 years in a long-distance relationship. We knew it wasn't going to be easy, but we put in the effort, visited each other, and made plans to finally be together this year. Everything seemed to change towards the end of last year. We found ourselves in a bad place in our relationship and ourselves personally. So at the end of the year, we decided to do a short 5-day break to clear our heads. After the break, we both decided that we did want us and we loved each other. So we decided to try again while recognizing the issues and making the adjustments. One of the big issues was creating that personal space that we both needed so we could work on ourselves. I was working on myself and found myself in a better place. And we were doing what we said we were doing, and I thought things were going well. There were times when I felt my boyfriend was off, so I asked him, "Is everything good? Do you need more space?" He always came back with, "Nope, usually everything is fine." Until about a week ago, when he told me everything actually wasn't, which I was upset to hear. I asked if he was still in love with me and wanted us. He said yes and yes. So I said, "Okay, then what do you need? Do you need more space or a break?" I was willing to work with him to get through what he needs. I even suggested that we take the rest of the week to himself to really think about it. Instead, he said he wanted to break up. I asked him not to do this, not to give up on us, and to actually think about it. He held firm and said this is what he needed to take care of his issues and asked me to respect his decision. It took me a couple of days to process, and while it was hard to process, I accepted. I told him that I would give him what he wanted and understand I'll begin the process to remove him from my life. We had some things to take care of as a couple, and I'll be cutting off communication. I wanted to cut ties with him on everything so I could begin to heal. He said he wanted me to have a clean break. Well, he came back with, "This isn't how breakups work, and you can't just cut people off like that." I said, "This is what you wanted, and I'm giving it to you, so what do you want?" He told me that while he knew we wouldn't talk every day or not at all, he liked knowing that I was there. Also, if he made a mistake, there was a possibility he would come back from it. I told him I was not an option. You just don't keep me on the back burner. I felt so confused and hurt and asked him if he is second-guessing everything. He said, "Maybe," and if he could take some days to clear his head. I thought about it and said, "Okay, this is your only chance to actually think about it, but understand if we decide to actually do the breakup that both sides must compromise on the terms." He said, "Okay." Well, we talked and he said he wanted a break, a 3-month break, so we could both work on each other. I said, "I'm willing to do a solid month break or a 2-month break with some check-ins." He held firm on what he wanted. He said this is him compromising. I felt so incredibly hurt when he seemed so cold. Also, he didn't seem bothered with what we went with. I asked him if he was in love with me, and he said, "I don't know." With his response, he was telling me and treating me the fact that when he broke up with me, he shattered my heart and trust, and I decided that if we stay as is, we will remain broken. I feel like he played with my emotions by giving me hope, like he was relying on the fact that I was in love with him, so I could sit there and wait while he decided. But I felt like if I did go with the breakup, it'd be more damaging to me because during the entire break, I'd be wondering if he still wants me. Will we actually get back together? I just didn't think I could do it. I fought really hard for us and worked on the changes we agreed to. I put my everything into this relationship. We were supposed to get married. I told him, "I feel like you aren't fighting for me like I've been fighting for you." He just told me the fact that he is talking to me about this shows that he cares. But it felt like a slap to the face. For almost 3 years, we were planning our lives together. But to him, that didn't matter anymore. I was already downsizing my life to move overseas to be with him. I was willing to leave my family, my job, just everything to be with him. I loved him. That was the sacrifice I was willing to make. But what do I get? I got a "sorry, it didn't work out, and it isn't you, it's me" speech. Now I feel like I am second-guessing everything. I'm still in love with him. I know that it takes time. When I told him no to the break, he said there was never a question that he loved me. He loves me and wanted us, but will give me what I want. I feel like my emotions are being played with. It hurts so much. Did I make the right choice? or should I have done the break?
So personally, my thoughts on a break is they don't work. And I feel like this guy is actually very selfish because he's expecting her to just put her life on hold for like a month or 3 months or whatever until he can sort out his problems, his issues, and then just have her wait there waiting for him just in case he feels like getting back with her.
And also it was like all in his terms as well, right?
Yeah.
So it didn't seem like he was willing to listen and be like, hey, let's just sit down and actually talk about this like adults.
And in my experience, breaks never work. When you think of having a break, that means that you actually want to break up, but you're just trying to delay the process a little bit.
Do you think it's like an emotional attachment to somebody that it's a convenience for them to be there?
Yeah. And it's definitely something that it's probably a comfort thing for them, knowing that, okay, I've been with this person for 3 years and I know who they are, how they are as a person, and I feel comfortable around them. So I don't want to lose that comfort, but I also want to be selfish and I want to do my own things.
So then how would anyone get out of that cleanly without someone getting hurt?
My advice to her would be just to end things.
Like just
it sounds harsh, but I also believe that, you know, if you guys are really true soulmates, there could be a chance that down the line you guys might meet again and rekindle that love and feelings can grow again. But for the meantime, for your own sanity, for your own emotional well-being, just cut it off.
Yeah, I totally agree. And especially when she was willing to give up literally everything for him and they were about to get married and it seemed like she was 110% in this relationship.
Yeah.
So for her to kind of second guess everything and invest this time and energy in this person, would you think that would be damaging to her and potential future relationships?
Definitely. She said that she was willing to leave her family and friends behind. That to me is a pretty toxic relationship because you need your own support group away from your relationship with your partner. You need to have friends, you need to have family, you need to have work colleagues that you can go separate from your partner, that you can vent and just have a normal relationship outside of.
Yeah, because you can't identify, well, for me personally, I couldn't just identify with boyfriend, girlfriend. That was my entire personality and no one could tell us apart because personally when I was dating my boyfriend at the time, I felt that we weren't even separate people. We were just one person. You know, for example, people would invite him and expect me to tag along, you know. It was just kind of like, who am I anymore? And it feels like
what's my identity?
Yeah, exactly. So I think we both agree that this girl needs to move on completely and to just be happy on her own.
Definitely. Also, the fact that he got upset that she did cut him off and he was like, oh, no, I still want to remain in communication with you. Some people can't do that. Like, for me, when I break up with someone, if I stay in contact with them and stay talking to them, even if it's just one time a week, those feelings, I'll never let go of those feelings.
Right.
And it'll be harder for me to move on, find somebody else or, just move on with my life.
Yeah, exactly, because you don't want to feel like second best, right?
Yeah.
And it's like an ego thing, it feels like, when he's like, I have you on the side and I can go for another girl, and you're just like, I don't want that. I wouldn't want that. No. So I think you need to move on. I think it's you need a clean break and just be happy with yourself.
And if it's meant to be, it could happen again down the line in the future.
Exactly. Definitely. So moving on with that, our second writer says, my boyfriend of 7 years wants to take a 1-year-long break. Me and my boyfriend have been together since we were 20 years old, and for the most part, our relationship has been pretty good. We can communicate well about our wants and needs, so it's been a very healthy relationship. A couple of days ago, I noticed something was bothering him, and I decided to ask. He said he doesn't feel as good as he used to. He's not okay with where he's at. He doesn't like his job, his financial situation, his life, basically. The only thing he said that was good in his life is me, and that doesn't make him feel fulfilled. We've been talking nonstop these past few days and have cried a lot. At the beginning, I was scared because I didn't want the relationship to end, but the more we talked, the more I feel like I don't deserve the situation. I know it's not a me problem, it's him, his life, his goals. I'm not a mind reader, and I just can't tell him to be happy. I'm exhausted. Every conversation ends with him telling me that even though he wants to discover himself, the only thing he's sure of is that he doesn't want to live without me. But then the next morning he wakes up and is confused with what he wants again. He came up with the idea of taking a 1-year-long break so he can find himself and then come back to me. I honestly think that's awful, and I told him that I love him so much and I would most likely feel the same way in a year's time, but I feel that I don't deserve that. I won't be sitting with my arms folded just waiting. I'll probably resent him a lot, and I don't want that. If he is committed and stays, I would like us to work things out in therapy. If he leaves, then the relationship is done. He said the most important thing for him is my happiness, and I deserve a concrete answer of what his choice will be, and needs a month to think about it. But now I'm asking myself, what do I want? Honestly, him saying this destroyed the little trust I had left with him. So now I don't know if the best decision is to leave for good.
So with this one, I feel like him saying that, oh, you're the only good thing in my life, I need to work on myself. I feel like he could do that while still being in a relationship.
Right.
I feel like if this is a one good thing in your life, why are you trying to let that go?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that she can, be there to support him and help him find out what other things that he wants to do with his career, with his life. Like a partner is meant to do that for you. Like they're meant to bring you up and help you sort your life out. Like they're not meant to be like the ones that are fixing your life, but they should be there to support you.
Yeah, like a cheerleader is someone that's cheering you on from the sides and is there from like when it's really bad and when it's really good. And I think 7 years is a long time, and I've been in a long-term relationship for about 13 to 14 years now. And I understand that 7 years, for me, was pretty rocky. It was kind of like, are we settling? Are we happy? But, we work things out by talking about it. It just feels like this person is in some sort of rut, kind of like quarter-life crisis potentially. And I feel like a lot of people hit that kind of mark in their 20s and 30s. And it's really difficult because as a partner, I can't tell him, my partner, to be happy. And it hurts because I'm like, even though I'm the only good thing in your life, why can't I make you happy?
Mm.
So with you and your experience, Judy, could you tell me if someone said that to you, something similar, and how did you react in that moment?
I don't think anyone said that to me, to be honest, but they've actually just strung me along until they were done. But
that's even worse.
But I also feel like, what does this guy think that he can accomplish in a year by himself that he can't do with her by his side?
Yeah, that's what I don't really understand. It's like, if you're not happy with your job and your financial situation, why not work it out together, kind of find new ways or new things to do, spice up the relationship to try and find that spark again. And even though like the career part is really an onus on yourself, like for me, I'd have to go out and find a new job if I wasn't happy, and I've done that multiple times. I know it's hard, but having a partner there really helped me say, you can do it.
Yeah,
you're
definitely.
amazing, and just help my morale. And I with the best friend, it's the same thing in that relationship. It's like, I'm not going to cut off things with you just because I'm miserable with my job. And I know that it's different emotional levels for everybody, but, I think if this guy is saying, oh, you're the only thing that makes me happy, but I don't feel fulfilled, it's a bit of a red flag.
Yeah. Like, does he plan on going and living by himself in the Alps, like isolating himself from everyone, or is he gonna use this break to meet new girls? That's my biggest thing.
It's like, I mean, if you really wanted to explore new relationships, go for it, but really be honest.
Yeah,
and I think honesty and communication.
I don't think he's being honest about his true feelings.
No, absolutely not. Like, oh, I want to take a break, but I'm not going to elaborate. Okay.
To me, a break is the biggest cop-out. It's just the cop-out way of saying, I want to break up, but I'm too pussy to say it. So I'm just going to say, oh, let's go on a break, but I expect you to wait around for me. But I'm going to go meet other people. I might sleep around with a couple of them. Who knows? But you have to be waiting for me.
I don't think I could ever accept that. And, you know, it's for me, if someone told me that up front, I'd be like, cool, I respect that you're being honest with me, and at least we're not ending it really badly. Like, it sucks.
Yeah.
Someone's feelings are going to get hurt. But, like, I'm the same boat with this girl. Like, I wouldn't be sitting around for a year waiting for this guy to potentially call me back and like, hey, I really missed you, and I love you, and I want to get back to... Like, you know, I know that a lot of fairy tales and romances, you know, sometimes it's like that spontaneous, like, oh, I realized I made a mistake. But the fact is like, you can't just sit around for somebody and put your life on hold. I mean, you've got so much out there to look forward to, and that person probably isn't the person for you if they're going to tell you to wait. You're not an object, right?
And when people say you never realize what you really had until it's gone, that's like the biggest what's that, light bulb moment?
Yeah, exactly.
Where guys will usually like break up with a girl, and then as soon as they realize, oh no, she was actually really good, and then they're like, oh, please take me back.
Yeah.
Nah, it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, 7 years again is a long time, but you know, if you had such great communication before, what changed? You know, I'd question, like, so was there something that we said or we did differently that made you feel uncomfortable? Like, I would be asking that question because I'd like to know, and not have this person feel like I did something and they felt uncomfortable with it, and they were just sitting on those feelings, because that would make me feel like shit as a person.
Definitely.
So you'd say for her to leave?
My advice would be sit down and have a true heart-to-heart, and like everyone should bare their honesty, like bare their soul, and just be honest with each other, completely honest, without hurting the other person's feelings. Because I feel like maybe he's just being a bit insecure, and he doesn't want to make her feel like, oh, I'm dragging this girl down because I'm going through a tough time in my life, and I don't want her to be affected by my shit. But if she realizes that, and if she's like willing to work with him and willing to still support him through that time, that could actually make their relationship a lot stronger.
I think so too. And it's a lot to bear yourself to one person like that, but if you don't do it and you don't say anything, there's just things left unsaid and probably would regret, I would say. So give it a chance, like give you guys the chance to talk it out, and if he totally refuses or he doesn't respect your decision to just cut it off if you've tried to reach him, then I don't think he was the person for you.
No.
So say cut it off. Yeah, just that's the best decision.
In my opinion, breaks are just not it. Anytime somebody brings up a break in a relationship, that's it. That's either they're copping out or they're just... I feel like it's a very immature thing to expect that, oh, we're just going to spend some time apart, but technically we're still together, so you can't sleep with somebody else. But I don't know, it's so weird. Like,
yeah, because then you're not really in the boyfriend-girlfriend zone.
Yeah,
or, you know.
You're in like a limbo where some breaks, I know people that are in breaks that can go and see other people, but then if I was to get back with my partner, I would feel so awkward.
Right, yeah.
I wouldn't want to, like, I think I would want to know everything and be like, tell me everything. Who did you sleep with? What was her name? Was she good?
Yeah, because, like, it's just weird, right?
And then it would be like an insecurity or like something, like an elephant in your relationship.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, human emotions just messy, and there's always going to be jealousy, you know? And I feel like comparison with other people, don't compare yourself with other people, but it's just natural that we do so, especially if you take a break and you guys see different people. It's like, are we secure? Yeah. You want to be secure in yourself, like I would want to be, and I want to be secure in this relationship, feel safe and everything, but I don't know if I could be if we were in a break and we saw other people. Just question everything, right?
And if the person that's requesting the break, if their intention is because they want to meet other people, maybe have that talk of like, do we want an open relationship then? Are you comfortable with an open relationship?
Yeah. And I think that's really important, because I know a couple that is in an open relationship and that recently got married, and they're really happy together because they had that discussion and they both feel secure and safe in that relationship, emotionally, physically, mentally, like they're in a happy place. And I feel that it's great that they're so chill about it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so you never know until you open up the discussion. And I feel like taking breaks depends on how you look at it, but me and Judy think it's a bit of a cop-out. So hopefully for anyone out there that's looking at a break or thinking about it or had that discussions, thinking about their future, just know that you're not alone. You put yourself first.
Yeah. And be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Be honest about where is this relationship going? And do I really know this person? If they're really serious about wanting to have a break or break up, did I really know everything about them?
Exactly.
Or have they been hiding this side of them until now? And I'm seeing their true colours.
Right, exactly. So communication is key, I think, in a relationship, and being honest, especially to yourself, is super important, because you are going to live with you for the rest of your life, really, and it's not anyone else. So yeah, well, that brings us to the end of Nighttime Confessions. We loved having you join us today and look forward to drinks next time. Bye.
Bye.